So something was just brought to my attention. Now, before I go any further, those of you who are looking at this image right now should be very familiar with it and how it all came about. This is an image of the White House when 44 was in office and when he signed that bill into law making same-sex marriages legal. And they lit up the White House with the rainbow colors, as they did in many places overseas. I think they did some in New York as well. Like it was like another big coming out party for the world at large because of that one thing. Well, I won't be surprised if they light this White House up again, because something has been brought to my attention that was literally under the radar. They tried to keep this under wraps, and I tried to see. It was like I try. You know how when you wake up in the morning, you see something that's not there, and you got to wipe the coal out of your eyes and then adjust your eyes a bit to see if it's indeed what you're looking at and not something wrong with your vision. I had to do one of those because this article that I'm about to read from called lifesitenews.com, and there's other different little sites that are reporting on it, but not big major outlets that should be talking about it. It says the Democrat House unanimously okays gay reparations bill giving tax refunds to same-sex couples. I'm trying to figure out what big major struggles, besides them not being able to walk down the street together holding hands, getting married, adopting children, how does that compare to the plight that many black people, especially ADOS, face in this establishment to this day that stems back 400 plus years? But I'm not surprised because that is the target that they're going for. Mind you, the LGBT community globally is only a very, very, very small percentage. Hell, they're even a very small percentage here. But because that's the imagery that they put out there, especially in Hollywood, and when you think of the inception of Hollywood, it all makes sense. Now I'm going to read to you this article and we're going to break this thing down. Washington, D.C., July 25th, 2019. We are talking merely just a few days ago. The Democrat-controlled U.S. House of Representatives, ironically, is the Democrats doing this, approved legislation enabling married same-sex couples to seek millions in tax refunds for unions that were not previously recognized under federal tax law. Let me say that again. The Democrat-controlled U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday approved legislation enabling quote-unquote married same-sex couples to seek millions in tax refunds for unions that were not previously recognized under federal tax law. Basically, what they're saying is if you are in a same-sex couple relationship and you got married before they made same-sex marriages a law, you, as long as you can prove it based on a marriage certificate by year, can receive a lot of money, millions, on that alone. Meanwhile, they have to do case studies, scientific experiments, lab tests on why ADOS cannot get even a piece of a reparation. Make that make sense to me. It says the PRIDE, which stands for Promoting Respect for Individuals' Dignity and Equality Act, removes sex-specific terms such as husband and wife from the federal tax code and allows couples married, while the Defense of Marriage Act, which protected states and federal government from having to recognize same-sex marriages from states that chose to recognize them, to claim tax refunds for which they were ineligible. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down DOMA in 2014. The Washington Blade reported that the Joint Committee on Taxation put the estimated amount the feds could have to pay out if the bill becomes law at $67 million. How much you want to bet it is going to turn into a law? How much do you want to bet they are going to do their best to pass this thing into a law? Oh, you best believe they're going to do it. And they're doing it on the political aspect because they need the votes. The Pride Act passed the House on Wednesday by voice vote, meaning lawmakers were not required to put a vote on the record. Notably, no Republican resisted. The Hill noted that the New York GOP Representative Tom Reed expressed a technical concern about the legislation, but supported its core purpose to make sure our tax code is reflective of the law of the land, and it has been declared by the Supreme Court. In passing the Pride Act, Democrats are honoring our diversity and providing long overdue justices to countless same-sex couples across the country who have been denied critical tax refunds because of who they are and who they love. Well, guess what? Guess how many black people have been denied many things just because they were black? I know what they're doing. I figured it out. They want to make everyone like this. And how much you want to bet that a lot of people are going to do something like this in order to get some money? If y'all remember, there was a movie that came out years ago called I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry that had Kevin James and Adam Sandler and Jessica Biel in it, where these two guys were literally in a financial struggle, both of them. So when they found out that they could actually get some benefits by being married to each other, they basically defrauded the state of New York and said that they had this fake wedding just so that they could benefit off of the state, off of the money, because they were in a same-sex marriage. That comes to mind, and that movie came out like in the mid 2000s. Here we are in 2019, and it's about to happen right now. Let me see, where did I leave off at? It says Democrat House Speaker Nancy Pelosi declared, CNN reported, she called on the Republican-controlled Senate to quickly pass and reaffirm the bill and its message. Notice how they quickly pass and reaffirm something like this, but when it comes to us and what we demand, they drag their feet, they drag their hands, they drag their ass. Massachusetts Senator and 2020 presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren is spearheading the bill's Senate counterpart. Now that one I'm familiar with because she talked about that maybe a couple months ago. It's not yet known whether Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, or the ventriloquist Slappy the Dummy from Goosebumps, will allow it to come up for a vote, or whether 45, who is conservative on some LGBT issues but supports same-sex marriage and homosexual pride, will sign it into law. What Ms. Warren doesn't mention to people is the IRS already allows everyone to amend the last 3 years of returns. Tammy Bruce, a Fox News contributor and gay conservative, wrote last month. Instead, she wants couples to be able to amend their tax returns for the entire time they were married in one of the 10 states allowing gay marriage prior to federal recognition. But why stop there? What about all the gays and lesbians who never had a chance to marry at all because of the Clinton administration's Defense of Marriage Act? Now you see what this person's agenda is. They don't want it to just be for people who got married outside of that before that law took into place. Now they want to extend it all the way back to the Clinton administration. So we're talking about 20 plus years ago. I'm telling you, they are going to get theirs way before we get ours. I'm calling it now. Let's see. It says that has to be asked because this has nothing to do with tax fairness and everything to do with reinforcing the politics of resentment and victimhood. For the Democratic Party machine, however, there can never be success. There always has to be a new appended wrong or violation. Some new campaign to convince you that victimhood will never end and you must always resent, well, everyone. And they say we're an issue. Like I said, they want to do all kinds of studies and whatnot on why we should not receive reparations. But they have not conducted one study of any degree on why they should receive it just because of of marriage. This is what it all boils down to. To be their marriage. I told you, when 44 signed into law that same-sex couples could get married legally, that was the first wave. I don't know what the second wave may have been, but I know we are probably past that and we are in the third wave right now. And if this gets passed, it's going to transition right into the fourth wave. What that will mean, I'm not entirely sure. But like I said, they can do whatever they want, but at the end of the day, they're going to get theirs way before we get ours. And I'm telling you right now, one of the major reasons, two of them actually, is because one is most likely some people in those offices who live this lifestyle. So that gives them a leg up. And two, it's good for the economy. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.